And can I start by asking you about this Chinese super embassy? Hugely concerning and extraordinary splash on the Daily Telegraph this morning, revealing secret rooms just 1 metre away from these sensitive fibre optic cables that are carrying financial information and data to and from the City of London. And despite all of this, it's expected that the Prime Minister is going to approve Beijing's plans. You don't need to be an intelligence expert to see that this is a clear risk to national security. How could the government possibly approve of this?
Morning, Ellie. Thanks for having me. This is a quasi-judicial process. The process is not finished yet. It ends with the Secretary of State for Housing and Planning, Steve Reed, will make a final determination based on all the information, based on the plans, based on information submitted by many parties, including ourselves in the Home Office, based on local representations, based on the facts. And we need to let him have the space to make that judgment, which he'll make when he's able to.
Can I ask you about the Iranian regime? We've got reports coming out of Iran, obviously very difficult with the internet shut down there, that at least 648 protesters have been killed in the past 16 days. What is the government doing to sanction the Iranian regime for what it's doing to its own people?
Well, we already have sanctioned 550 people with connection to the IRGC. We're very clear. We want to see an end to the violence. We want to see people's human rights upheld. We are very concerned, as you would imagine, with supporting and protecting British citizens in Iran. These are all points that the Foreign Secretary has made with her Iranian counterpart yesterday, and we will keep pushing because it's important that Britain plays its role on the global stage on this issue.
Time to prescribe the Islamic Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist group. Yvette Cooper promised that you'd do it in opposition.
So we, as I say, have made the sanctions that we've made. Similarly, we've put Iran on the enhanced tier of the foreign interference scheme as well. There is a gap in the law that we inherited from our predecessors that means that we can't currently prescribe state actors in the way that you suggest. We are changing that, and that would give us the space. I mean, I can't give a running commentary on who may or may not be prescribed because there's publicly available information, as you'd expect, but also in matters of national security which might not be publicly available. But nevertheless, we're changing the prescription regime to make sure that state actors are covered.
But would you be in a position, Alex, to, for instance, seize the assets of regime members who are moving their money, if not themselves, into the UK?
This interruption is brought to you by ExpressVPN and their New Year deal. New Year, new VPN. And a huge saving of up to 80% if you act now. You're busy planning how to get in shape, but the hackers are planning how to get into your accounts. ExpressVPN locks down your connection so you can start the year protecting your data. So scan the QR code or click the link in the description now.
Well, as I say, Eamon, we've already put ourselves in that position by the sanctions that we've made. We take, the actions that people do around the world very seriously, and if there is a domestic context in terms of their assets or their travel, we take strong action. We've done so in this case. I hope people would be reassured by that. In the meantime, our interests now are using our diplomatic heft to make sure that, as I say, the violence is stopped, that people's human rights is upheld, and that we are supporting our British citizens.
Can I ask you about what you're here to talk to us about, which is the immigration rates now at the highest level in British history? Clearly the government very proud of these figures. What's happening to the people that are being arrested? Are they being deported?
Well, I am pleased that I'm able to tell viewers that this type of illegal working enforcement, these raids are at record highs. That's about clamping down on illegal working, illegal trading, which of course undercuts good businesses who do things the right way. It's also absolutely critical. We've discussed on the programme before that Britain at the moment is attractive for people to come to illegally. That's why our numbers are up and the numbers across the EU are down. One of those, in fact, the major reason behind that is illegal working. So this is about showing to people you will not be able to come to this country and work illegally. It's led to, the arrests that Sam talked about. It's led to 1,270 people deported. That number will grow because that's accurate as at the end of last year, but with obviously some people still in the system. There are some people we can't remove because of the nature of the country that they go back to. But you will also have heard me, and viewers will have heard me say before, we want to change our approach in this country to make it easier to remove people. We've already removed 50,000 people with no right to be here since we formed a government, but we want to go further. That's why we're bringing in visa sanctions for countries who don't take their citizens back in time. It's why we're changing our laws to make sure that they're not being gamed in a way that means that people can't leave the country. So I am pleased that we're hitting record levels, but I also hear what your viewers are saying and my constituents are saying, that they want us to do more. I want us to do more too, and that's why we're going to make the changes that we're going to make.
1,270 people have actually been deported so far. So what's going to happen to the rest of the people that have been arrested? How are you going to get them out of the country?
Well, I mean, first of all, that's a big step forward in those cases, both in those individual cases, but also sending a signal to those who work illegally that they can't, and to those who might want to come to this country to work illegally that they won't be able to. For the rest, there will be others that we will be deporting through this process. Similarly, there are other tools we can use. We've confiscated a lot of money through the proceeds of these crimes. We've got enhanced immigration bail for those who break the law too. So, people who are committing this crime are facing sanctions, and crucially, so are the businesses that are employing them. And in December, an individual in Surrey who was running a care home based off illegal labour, he is now doing 2.5 years in prison. So, for those, I'm sure GB News viewers watching wouldn't be running businesses using illegal trade. Those are the businesses we want to support. But anyone who is, that next knock at the door might be our immigration enforcement, so time to change.
And this is all very well, isn't it? But what's actually being done to stop the boats crossing the channel in the first place? Almost a record-breaking year last year at 41,000 people crossing the channel, a number of them going on to work illegally.
Well, as I've said before on the show, Ellie, that those crossings are unacceptable. We're as angry as you are and as angry as your viewers are. That's why we're putting in place the changes that we've put in place, which is we're reducing the protection time for individuals who come here seeking sanctuary. We are lengthening the path to settlement for people who come illegally to 20 years. We are stopping and preventing with our work with France crossings, some 22,000 crossings prevented, and then we're really stepping up our removals activity in the ways that I've talked about with visa sanctions, with reforming our law, and that's important for removing individuals with no right to be here, but it's also important in demonstrating to those people who want to come here speculatively that they're not a good thing to do. So, and I know you aren't, as I hope you can tell I am too, I know you are impatient to see that change, I am too, but we are doing those things, and what we're announcing today is a core part of that, making those changes that will see that improvement. We're committed to that as a government, and I know your viewers want to see us deliver it, and we will.
Yeah, well, good luck with what you're trying to do, Alex. Very interesting listening to you. Alex Norris there from the Home Office. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.